Wisdom, wisdom, that's the test. Which rival wisdom team is best? 52 teams of 8 antique rival wisdoms compete to do the future a favor and guide a life at stop2think.com. Team quote 51.1. What kills a skunk is the publicity it gives itself. Abraham Lincoln 1806 to 1865. This quote by Abraham Lincoln, known for his wit and wisdom, offers a humorous yet insightful commentary on the dangers of self-promotion and inappropriate behavior. 1. Natural metaphor. Skunks release a powerful, offensive odor as a defense mechanism. This defense strategy, while intended to protect, actually draws attention and can lead to their demise. The skunk's own action becomes its greatest threat. 2. Human behavior analogy. People who constantly draw attention to themselves, especially through negative or boastful means. Excessive self-promotion can backfire and damage one's reputation. The act of seeking attention can ultimately be self-destructive. 3. Social wisdom. Humility is often more respected than self-aggrandizement. Quiet confidence is more effective than loud self-praise. Excessive self-publicity can reveal one's insecurities or lack of substance. 4. Political insight. Lincoln, a masterful politician, understood the subtleties of public perception. The quote reflects his keen observation of human nature, suggests that restraint and modesty are virtues in public life. 5. Humor and wisdom. The quote uses a playful, memorable analogy, demonstrates Lincoln's characteristic use of wit to convey profound truths, makes a serious point through a light-hearted, memorable comparison. Team quote 51.2. Better a diamond with a flaw than a pebble without. Confucius 551 BC, 479 BC. Confucius captures the essence of embracing imperfections. A flawed diamond holds more value and beauty than a flawless pebble. It's a reminder that our flaws don't diminish our worth. They make us unique and valuable. 1. Exceptional quality with imperfections exceeds mediocre perfection. 2. Brilliance with defects outvalues flawless ordinariness. 3. Remarkable potential justifies accepting minor shortcomings. 4. Excellence with limitations surpasses unremarkable completion. 5. Value comes from inherent quality rather than absence of faults. The metaphor of comparing a flawed diamond to a perfect pebble is quite powerful. Both are stones, but one has inherent value and beauty despite its flaws, while the other, though flawless, remains common and unremarkable. This wisdom can apply to many aspects of life, from personal growth and relationships to art and craftsmanship. Confucius's wisdom remains timeless, reminding us to value complexity, potential, and the ongoing journey of personal development over a simplistic notion of perfection. Team quote 51.3. That which is everybody's business is nobody's business. Izaak Walton 1593 to 1683. This quote from Izaak Walton highlights a fundamental truth about human nature and collective responsibility. When everyone is theoretically responsible for something, often no one takes actual ownership or initiative, leading to inaction or neglect. The wisdom here resonates strongly with what we now call the bystander effect, or diffusion of responsibility, in psychology. When multiple people witness a situation requiring action, each individual is less likely to take responsibility, assuming someone else will handle it. 1. Shared responsibility often leads to neglect. 2. Tasks without specific ownership remain undone. 3. Collective accountability dilutes individual obligation. 4. Diffused responsibility creates inaction. 5. General assignments lack the specificity needed for execution. This insight from the 17th century remains remarkably relevant today, whether in corporate environments, where projects without clear ownership often stall, community initiatives, where shared spaces may go untended, or even in household dynamics, when chores without assigned responsibility tend to be neglected. Walton, a contemplative writer and fisherman, was known for keen observations of human behavior. This quote reflects his understanding of social dynamics and human nature. Team quote 51.4. A sympathetic friend can be quite as dear as a brother. Homer 484 BC, 425 BC. This quote from Homer captures a timeless truth about the profound value of friendship. While family bonds are often considered the strongest connections we have, Homer suggests that chosen relationships, particularly those built on genuine understanding and empathy, can be equally meaningful and deep. 1. Emotional connection can equal blood ties. 2. Chosen relationships may match familial ones in significance. 3. Understanding from non-relatives can provide equivalent support. 4. Compassion creates bonds comparable to kinship. 5. Friendship at its best rivals family bonds. The specific use of sympathetic is particularly noteworthy. It implies more than just companionship. It suggests someone who truly understands, empathizes, and shares in both our joys and sorrows. This kind of emotional resonance and support is what can elevate a friendship to the level of familial bonds. What makes this observation especially powerful is that while we don't choose our siblings, we do choose our friends. When someone chooses to understand and support us with the dedication typically associated with family, it creates a uniquely powerful connection. I find it fascinating that this insight about human relationships has remained so relevant across millennia. Would you like to explore what makes certain friendships rise to this level of significance? Team quote 51.5. I would rather make my name than inherit it. William Thackeray 1811 to 1863. This quote from Thackeray speaks to a deep commitment to personal achievement and self-determination. As a novelist who rose to fame through his own literary talents, particularly with works like Vanity Fair, Thackeray embodied this philosophy in his own life. The statement reflects a distinctly meritocratic worldview, valuing what one accomplishes over what one inherits. It's particularly striking coming from 19th century England, a society still heavily structured around inherited titles, wealth, and social position. There's also an implicit acknowledgement that making one's own name involves risk and effort. It's often easier to rest on inherited privilege, but Thackeray suggests the satisfaction and dignity of earned success outweighs the comfort of inherited status. This sentiment continues to resonate today, as people navigate tensions between inherited advantages, whether wealth, connections, or family reputation, and the desire to forge their own path and be recognized for their own achievements. Team quote 51.6. There is no greater harm than that of time wasted. Michelangelo 1475 to 1564. Coming from Michelangelo, this quote carries particular weight. As someone who created some of humanity's most enduring masterpieces, from the David to the Sistine Chapel ceiling, he deeply understood the precious nature of time and its relationship to accomplishment. The statement is striking in its absoluteness. No greater harm. For an artist who witnessed many types of harm in Renaissance Italy's turbulent political landscape, to single out wasted time as the greatest speaks volumes. It suggests that while other losses might be recoverable, time lost is gone forever. What makes this perspective especially compelling is that Michelangelo lived this principle. He was known for his intense work ethic, often sleeping little and working for long stretches. Even in his later years, when he was already famous and wealthy, he continued to work with fierce dedication. His passion for making every moment count resulted in an astounding body of work across sculpture, painting, architecture, and poetry. The quote also implies something deeper about human potential, that we all have the capacity to create or achieve something meaningful, and failing to use that capacity is the deepest form of loss. Coming from someone who lived to 88 and remained creatively active until his death, it's a powerful reminder about making our time count. Team quote 51.7. Every dog is a lion at home. George Bohn 1796 to 1884. This proverb from Bohn captures a wry observation about human nature through a clever animal metaphor. It points to how people, like dogs, often display more confidence and bravado in familiar territory, their home turf, than they might elsewhere. The comparison between a dog and a lion is particularly apparent. A dog, even a small one, will often act fierce and territorial at home, barking at intruders and defending its space with the confidence of a much larger predator. Yet that same dog might be far more cautious or submissive in unfamiliar environments. This speaks to a broader truth about human behavior. How we tend to be bolder and more assertive in environments where we feel secure and in control. Someone might be outspoken in their own office, but quiet in other settings, or confident giving directions in their hometown, but hesitant in a new city. There's also a gentle element of satire here, suggesting that we should perhaps be aware of when we're acting like the dog who thinks it's a lion, overestimating our importance within our small familiar sphere, while being much less impressive in the broader world. Team quote 51.8. Vices are sometimes only virtues carried to excess. Charles Dickens 1812 to 1870. This observation from Dickens shows his characteristic insight into human nature, reflecting how the line between virtue and vice can be surprisingly thin. It's fascinating that he includes an exclamation point, suggesting an almost delighted realization about this paradox of human behavior. Consider how common virtues might transform into vices when pushed too far. Prudence becoming miserliness, confidence turning to arrogance, dedication morphing into obsession, carefulness evolving into paralysis, generosity leading to self-destruction. What makes this observation particularly profound is that it suggests virtue and vice aren't always opposites, but sometimes exist on a continuum, implying that the path to vice can begin with the best intentions. It's a reminder that even our good qualities require balance and moderation. And to help raise school test scores and confidence with free easy extra advantage math, spelling and reading workbooks you can download for free at stop2think.com or buy at educationstopshate.com. Free easy math wisdom workbooks with octa repetition to grow math self-confidence. You'll get plenty of repetitive practice of age ranges and averages of our 52 teams of 8 quote authors. Free easy alpha cipher-coded puzzles teach letters, numbers, and phrases using antique wisdoms that encourage and educate. Can you decode this cipher quote of encouragement using either our learning to spell or just for fun instructions? And since time is money, practice reading faster with 52 teams of antique rival wisdoms. We offer printed versions and timed videos with background music. Sign up for free weekly emails of 52 teams of antique rival wisdom workbooks with easy math, spelling, and reading practice. And if you'd like to get paid for sharing our wearable wisdoms, keep this in mind. Everyone I know wears a shirt, and most of us change them daily, so change your shirt and change the world. Social equalities are blatantly subliminal antique positive wisdoms repetitively shared without saying a word. This applies to all our wearable shareable wisdoms, like pretty witty baby onesies and pretty witty kids. Youthful truths let your kids gain confidence, sharing antique wisdoms with their friends. Imagine them sharing words of wisdom with classmates and teachers. I think, therefore I think tees I wear is a super easy way to share words of wisdom. With wearable wisdoms to fit babies, kids, and adults, you can clothe a whole family, city, or state. So do the future a favor by encouraging, educating, and entertaining with words of wisdom. Make us all wiser and kinder. And for a downloadable PDF of these team quotes, join the 52 of 8 today.